With the turn of the new year, it brings us that much closer to the opening of Epic Universe. We can now officially say that Epic Universe opens next year to everyone's excitement. It has been a little over 2 weeks since we last checked in at Epic Universe, and there has been just as much progress made as you would expect. Before we jump into this Universal Epic Universe construction update, I would like to announce that I have opened up membership to Adventures Away. Membership has 3 different levels and comes with different perks which, depending on the level, includes your name or channel in the credits of every future video, along with early access to videos and other member-only posts. If you'd like to help support the channel and see more adventures, be sure to support the channel today. Without any more of a delay, let's jump into this week's Universal Epic Universe update. Starting just south of Epic Universe at Stella Nova and Terra Luna Resorts. At Stella Nova, the colorful tiles have almost made the complete trip around the outside of the resort. Above the lobby entrance, glass has been installed between the eave and the main structure of the hotel. Next to the lobby entrance, you can see a plywood wall installed next to the hotel, which is keeping the tiles installed behind it safe from the construction site. Progress out back at the pool area continues as we get closer to about 1 year from opening its doors. Next door at Terra Luna Resort, the colorful tiles have now been seen starting to be installed just as they wrap up at Stella Nova. Terra Luna has a lot of work to catch up on if it is just to open 1 month after Stella Luna next year. Just north up Kirkman Road is the entrance to Epic Universe, where, since we last checked in, the entry arch has been completely removed from its forms. To the left of the entry portal to the park, we can start to see some theming beginning on the walls adjacent to the entry courtyard. On either side of the security plaza, there are a few octagon-shaped concrete forms that can be seen. There are several of these octagon concrete shapes all throughout Epic Universe. We still do not know exactly what these shapes will entail, but I am assuming they will all be related in some way. Just inside Epic Universe, guests will be met by a set of cascading waterfalls, which since last update has seen many of the basins completed. Around the waterfall feature, we can see the second bridge foundation that will cross over these waterfalls. Starfall Racers has seen some changes since we last checked in on various aspects of construction. In front of the entry tunnel to the coaster, the concrete courtyard that has been worked on the last several updates is currently being covered by a protective covering. We can still see where that 8-pointed shooting star will be right at the mouth of the tunnel. On the back side of the load station, there are some new concrete foundations that have appeared. These foundations are possibly for an exit ramp for the coaster to take guests back to ground level. The roof of the load station continues to get waterproofing added in preparation for its final skin. All around the hub, we can see the octagon shapes wrapped in yellow waterproofing in preparation for concrete. Just up Celestial Park at Meteor Astropub, there has been a lot of progress made all around the building. Out back on the Wizarding World side of the building, a curved wall has been built which will fully enclose that side of the building. Out front at the round seating area, the domed area of the framing seems to be coming to a close to be finished. Just in front of this section of Meteor Astropub, a new circular steel frame has been erected. This could be for an area for cover in case of inclement weather, or something new that we do not have much detail of quite yet. Next door at the main fountain at Epic Universe, there has been a turquoise paint added to the basin of the fountain. All but a small section of this paint remains inside of the basin, so next update we should be able to tell if that paint is the final coat or just something more for sealing. Between the main fountain and the Helios Grand Hotel, the next full-service dining location continues to have a lot of exterior board installed and shaped as it is prepared for exterior theming. Overlooking the main show fountain, the Helios Grand Hotel has been making consistent progress in several different areas of the hotel. The first being on the ground, next to the dedicated entrance to Epic Universe, where they are currently preparing for a concrete pour directly outside of the lobby of the hotel and underneath of the walkway to the left towards the restaurant. The second area of progress is on the ground level as well, which is in the front of the hotel and borders Dark Universe. The hotel pool area has seen more roofing added to the pool bar, as well as the outline of the pool has been staked out since we last checked in towards the end of 2023. The next area of progress is the facade of the hotel, which continues to receive panel after panel, slowly enclosing the hotel as we get closer to the summer of 2025 opening date. The last area of progress is on the roof, where this update we have several different changes. Starting in the center of the roof, a yellow frame is being added to support the dome that will top the hotel. This frame is very similar to the one found at Celestial Carousel during its dome construction. Soon, we should start to see these steel arch pieces installed above the hotel. To the side of the main dome of the lounge, the ballroom is starting to be enclosed, seen at the shiny portion of the roof. Next to the Helios Grand Hotel, based off of Universal Monsters, Dark Universe has seen several interesting developments since last year. Last month, we saw the electrical tower on top of the entry portal installed, and now, just behind the portal as guests enter Dark Universe, a new structure has appeared. This structure will be some sort of theming element that will go along with the village theming. The broken masonry in front of the village is seeing more of the exterior masonry board being installed on the left side. On the right side, you can see some of the stonework through the scaffolding surrounding the structure. Throughout certain sections of the village, sections of stonework can be seen through the scaffolding that surrounds the village. In the front of the feature ride of Dark Universe, more of the scaffolding has been removed, revealing more of the facade. Drain work continues out back in the queue area of the feature ride before the walkways are formed. Also inside of the queue area, the crypt framing was completed and the outside board has shaped the crypt as it is enclosed. The other ride in Dark Universe has seen some changes as well on multiple levels. Inside Curse of the Werewolves queue area, we can clearly see the entrance of the queue as well as the pathways guests will take as they make their way towards the load station. Next to the entrance queue, which is covered in plywood, we can see the exit pathway being marked out with concrete forms, which next update we should see that pathway poured. The shingles we saw starting on the coaster's load station last visit have made significant progress and have also started making good headway on the barn in the middle of the track. Next door, at the multi-level terrace of Burning Blades Tavern, the windmill has been fully revealed after being covered in scaffolding for so long. The windmill has been painted to look as though it has been on fire, since it is thought that during park hours, the windmill will have flame effects. Separating the different levels of burning blades, there have been formed concrete logs painted to look like the retaining wall that would match the theming of Dark Universe. Between Burning Blades and Curse of the Werewolf, there is a back-of-house gateway that is currently being themed with 2 towers on either side of the gateway. Just beyond this gateway, there has been a new concrete form constructed just behind Burning Blades Tavern, which is thought to be a back-of-house storage building to support the land. From the darkest land at Epic Universe to arguably one of the most adventurous at the How to Train Your Dragon land at the Isle of Berk, several new elements have been spotted throughout the land. Separating the How to Train Your Dragon land from Celestial Park, permanent fencing is starting to be installed, seen by the large wooden posts next to the land's roller coaster tracks. As guests walk through the entry portal and are met by the large statues inside of the lagoon, the boardwalk has been completed installing the wooden planks around the lagoon. The lagoon has been drained as well since last month, assuming to continue work on the theming elements around the edge of the lagoon. Just beyond the lagoon, at the left of the land before the spinning flat rides, the drink stand has had its name installed above. Grog and Gruel is thought to be a freestyle Coke drink location, which also can be found in several different areas in the current parks that Universal offers in Orlando. Right behind Grog and Gruel, there has been a recent concrete pour in a back-of-house access area which leads up to a support building for the land's coaster. This building will also house the bathrooms for the play area, which has recently been painted as well. Between the spinning flat rides, there has been a lot of foundation work completed on the backside of these rides. It is likely that this foundation work is either for theming, which would separate the How to Train Your Dragon land and Starfall Racers, or is part of the queue area for the rides. Walking back towards the land's launch coaster, looking over at Mead Hall, you can start to see the rock work being completed through the scaffolding that surrounds this location. This update, we also have a better view of the second Viking that will guard the entrance of Mead Hall. On top of Mead Hall, scaffolding is starting to surround the wire mesh that will give the location the built-in mountain look. The shop next to Mead Hall appears to be getting close to being complete with the steel framing that tops the building. Making our way back to the launch coaster, there has been some wing-style safety netting installed above where guests will be walking on the pathways below. Seeing where the coaster crosses over the land, there will sure be a couple of other spots where this wing-style netting will be installed later in the track. Wrapping up at Fire Drill, which is the boat ride of the land, the load station roof appears to be completed and the queue area continues to receive foundation work as well. From the Isle of Berk to the new Wizarding World of Harry Potter, based on the streets of Paris, we have seen a significant amount of scaffolding removed around this land. The most revealing portion removed was the scaffolding surrounding the replica arch, which guests will walk under as they enter and exit the streets of Paris. Inside of the streets, a full section of facade has been revealed on one of the buildings, giving us our first unobstructed view of the building's facades. More and more of the rooftops in the land are getting that weathered look that we can expect if you would be in Paris in real life. In the backdrop of the streets, where the future expansion site will be located, we can see workers closing in the structure next to the replica turret, which still needs to be completed. This is another update where inside of the streets it is hard to show much progress made compared to the rest of the lands in Epic Universe. But we know there is a lot of work going on inside of the walls to hit the summer 2025 opening goal for Universal Epic Universe. Before we get to our last land, I want to ask everyone, what is your guess as to the opening date of Epic Universe? Leave your answer below in the comments and why you think it is this date. Leaving the most magical land of Epic Universe and transporting into the most colorful land of Super Nintendo World and the Mushroom Kingdom. Just outside of Super Nintendo World, there is a large concrete pour being prepped, seen by the yellow waterproofing layer. The portal for Super Nintendo World has seen some outside work and recent updates, and is now currently being faced with stone. Throughout the Mushroom Kingdom, there are several raised concrete foundations visible that will more than likely be for themed elements related to the land. Yoshi's Adventure is the latest ride at Epic Universe to have test dummies placed inside of the ride vehicles. Most of the ride vehicles are still covered in a mixture of clear plastic wrap and fabric to protect them from the elements. All around Yoshi's Adventure, we can see several mystery blocks placed on the walls and several places where these blocks will be placed. Inside of Donkey Kong Country, there are several detailed changes that have popped up since last year. On top of the coaster building, more of the steel frame has been placed where the large golden head will be placed over the waterfall. Workers can be seen installing detail pieces of the Golden Temple on the lift hill of the coaster. The oversized broken blocks on the outside of the coaster building has seen progress made, as we can now see more sections of these blocks appearing at the roofline. The steel framing that appeared at the center of the coaster tracks last month, which we were not sure what will be other than some sort of theming. Looking at the wire mesh around the framing, we can safely assume that this frame is for some sort of broken block theming similar to the one found on side of the coaster building. I would like to give BioReconstruct a big shout out and a thank you for his work and aerials that he provides us all. If you do not follow Bio on Twitter or X, whichever you prefer to call it, be sure to do so to keep up on all Orlando theme park news. With all of the lands within Epic Universe coming closer to their final state, be sure to watch the time-lapse video of Epic Universe construction progress. Also, be sure to join our membership program and support the channel to bring more adventures to you, the viewers. Until next time, travelers, have a great one.